would, Terry Hagar for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And let's play the mill if you would.
Wait a minute, George. George?
Might lead us to prayer if we'd well done to do that.
Perfect timing.
Come on up, friend.
Been waiting for you.
Let us bow our heads, please. Father, we're grateful and thankful for this opportunity that you've given us once again to be able to assemble ourselves together to conduct the city business. Ask your blessings upon the officials. Bless them and lead them and guide them and help us to continue with your love and your spirit with these blessings we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, George. Okay, as we move down the agenda here, the first item is approval of regular meeting minutes from May 20th, 2024. Those minutes have been sent out earlier to everyone, so if there aren't any questions or concerns about those, I will entertain a motion to accept those minutes in a second.
I make a motion that we accept the minutes as read.
Motion by Clayton, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Terry, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The next item is approval and ratification of bills. Those were also sent out last week for everyone to go over, and if there aren't any questions or concerns about the bills for this period, I will entertain a motion to accept those.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Billy,
I second it.
seconded by Clayton. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Next up is second and final reading of ordinance relating to planning and zoning request RZ-24-129, rezone 1,000 block of Cave Mill Road. You have something on that, Tyler?
An ordinance amending and adopting an amended zoning map entitled Zoning Map Leitchfield, Kentucky by changing the district classification of property located in Leitchfield, Kentucky as hereinafter described from R4 two-family to R2A single-family high density. Whereas the Leitchfield Planning Commission of Leitchfield, Kentucky on May 13th, 2024 held a public hearing on application number RZ-24-129. The property is currently owned by Ben Hodges and is designated as a property having a PVA number Webb Estates 2-007, being more particularly described in Deed Book 505, page 503, records of the Grayson County Clerk's Office, and being located at the 1,000 block of Cave Mill Road, Leitchfield, Kentucky. The request asks for a change from R4 two-family to R2A single-family high density. And whereas City Council members conducted a review of the record and evidence presented before the Leitchfield Planning Commission, and its recommendation is that the zoning map amendment be approved as affects this property. Its recommendation is attached and incorporated herein by reference. And now therefore be it ordained by the City of Leitchfield, Kentucky as follows. Boundaries of the district is shown on district map entitled Zoning Map Leitchfield, Kentucky. Being same is hereby amended for reasons adopted, all of which is made a part hereof as fully set out herein, including the rezoning request from the Planning Commission dated 5/13/2024 to the Leitchfield City Council. So the property is described as follows. Refer to property description, PVA number Webb Estates 2-007, Deed Book 505, page 503, records of the Grayson County Clerk's Office, and being located at the 1,000 block of Cave Mill Road, Leitchfield, Kentucky 42754, now zoned R2A single family high density after the adoption of this ordinance.
Okay. Are there any questions or concerns from the council about the reading of that? If not, I will entertain a motion in a second for us to have a roll call.
I make a motion.
Motion by Clayton, do I have a second?
second it.
Second by Tootie, roll call. Denny?
Aye.
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 Thank you all. Next up is second and final reading of ordinance relating to planning and zoning request RZ-24-128, rezone 305 Ragland Drive.
An ordinance amending and adopting an amended zoning map entitled Zoning Map Litchfield, Kentucky by changing the district classification of the property located in Litchfield, Kentucky as hereinafter described from R2 Single Family Medium Density to B2 Central Business. Whereas the Litchfield Planning Commission of Litchfield, Kentucky on May 13th, 2024 held a public hearing on application number RZ-24-128. The property is currently owned by Bright Wholesale Electric Supply Incorporated and is designated as a property having a PVA number 083-06-03-054, being more particularly described in Deed Book 529, page 727, records of the Grayson County Clerk's Office, and being located at 305 Ragland Drive, Litchfield, Kentucky. The request asks for a change from R2 Single Family Medium Density to B2 Central Business. And whereas City Council members conducted a review of the record and evidence presented before the Litchfield Planning Commission, and its recommendation is that the zoning map amendment be approved as affects this property. Its recommendation is attached and incorporated herein by reference, and now therefore be it ordained by the City of Litchfield, Kentucky as follows. Boundaries of the district as shown on district map entitled Zoning Map Litchfield, Kentucky, being same is hereby amended for reasons adopted, all of which is made a part hereof is fully set out herein, including the rezoning request from the Planning Commission dated 5/13/2024 to the Litchfield City Council, so the property is described as follows. Refer to property description PVA number 083-06-03-054, Deed Book 529, page 727, records of the Grayson County Clerk's Office, and being located at 305 Ragland Drive, Litchfield, Kentucky, 42754, now zoned B2 Central Business after the adoption of this ordinance.
Okay. If there are no questions, concerns with Tyler's reading, I'll entertain a motion in a second to have a roll call on this item.
I'll make a motion that we accept
I
the
second it.
reading the ordinance.
Okay. Motion by Gina, second by Clayton. Denny?
Aye.
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 Thank you, guys. Okay, we'll move on now. Our next item on the agenda is visitors, and I think we have a few visitors here tonight to voice some concerns, and you're welcome to come up front, anybody that would like to. And is the microphone on up there, Lori? Yes. Okay. Who would like to come up and address the council? Mark, come on up.
My name is Mark Butler. Many of you know me through A&B Hardware. Been in business for 53 years. What I'm here about is the parking, and we did get the signs put back up around the square, and I appreciate all the councilmen that reached out and spoke to me and Harold. You know, we do need to look at getting them back on East Main Street, because we have other business owners, Sue and Benny Lindsay, that can't be here tonight. I spoke to them today. We need to get those back up and try to get this enforced. You know, I know it's not a job that, I've talked to a couple of policemen, they don't like doing it. I understand that. I wouldn't want the job either if you offered it to me tonight.
Right.
But we need to try to do that to keep everybody's business going and keep everybody generating, you know,
Right.
business here.
Yeah.
We all got to get along, you know. I mean,
Exactly.
I know I've had some issues with them, but you know, it's just, it's working itself out. I can tell it's
Yeah.
starting to get a little better.
Yeah.
You know, but we do need to try to do something about the parking. You know, as far as the food trucks, you know, we had a few on the square that really, being we've got East Main Street with the food truck plot, that's where really they need to be, you know. But other than that, that's about all I have to say at this time about it.
Well, I'll just say to you, Mark, we spent some time today up there and with Benny. Benny
Yeah.
came by and we talked a little
Yeah.
bit. We had an issue. We think we've got it corrected.
Yeah.
Everything going the right direction.
Yeah.
And I've
Sure,
said to
with the
them,
dumpster, I'm sure. 'Cause
Yeah.
I've talked to Sue and Benny about it, you
Yeah.
know. And it
Yeah.
does, you know, it is, you
Yeah.
know, I've had customers speak about it, you know, being smelly and nasty and everything, you know.
yeah, I think we're well on our way to getting that
Yeah.
that situation corrected. It's a wonderful problem to have, guys. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna say, it's, you know,
Oh, yeah,
we're growing.
I'm glad that Mandy and Robert fixed it up, and I wish them the
Yeah.
best, hope, you know,
Yeah.
hope them the best.
And
You know.
we'll continue to try, and I think if we continue to work at it, we'll continue to try, and it'll
Yeah.
get better.
Yeah.
And,
It's just gonna take time. I
Right.
realize that, you
Yeah.
know, it's gonna be, you
Yeah.
know, a time process thing
Yeah.
to get it worked out, you know.
right,
You know, and I mean, it is what it is. I mean,
Right.
everybody, you know,
Yeah. And I know there's some
We're just
additional,
limited on parking.
We have a concern about it also.
Yeah, I
And
realize
I know
that, yeah.
y'all all have to be neighbors.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. You know, and I know. I
Y'all
posted
the ones that
posted
have
on
invested,
Facebook, you know,
you're,
due to
you're,
parking
but you gotta
issues,
have a neighbor.
come in the back
So,
door and it stirred kind of a pot, you know, and there was some people made some comments that, you know, I didn't,
yeah.
but it wasn't me making the comments. I
Right.
can't control what somebody else
Yeah.
says, you know.
And I
I was
think,
just trying to say, hey, we have parking in the back.
Right.
You know,
And I think County Judge, he and I talked, there's a parking area behind the Sicilian
bank,
Bank
the
there
bank there that
that
belongs to
they're
the county,
leasing and
yes.
they're going
Uh-huh.
to stripe
Yeah.
and pave. So that'll alleviate it some.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think it's just, it's more than anything right now, just a procedural thing.
Yeah.
Everything's new to them, it's new to
Oh,
us.
yeah. Oh,
So
yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think we can get it worked out
Oh,
and
yeah.
we'll,
Yeah.
we'll continue to try to work it
yeah.
out, so.
And one other thing I do want to bring up, and I've mentioned it to Gina out there in the parking lot, they've got a handicap spot right in front of the,
You're right, there,
by the flower bed there, right in
Yes.
front of the door.
yeah.
That's not a real good handicap spot.
You're right.
We need to try to do something to get
Yeah.
that to where it's bigger, because
Yeah.
that's the worst parking spot there is on the square.
It is, it's a little bitty.
You know?
And we've talked about
And,
that
you
too.
know,
We've got
really,
another one. on-
and I know it's gonna take up more parking if we make it probably a legal, what they call a
Yeah.
legal handicap parking spot. It's gonna have room where if you have a wheelchair, you
you're
can
gonna
get
lose,
out.
you're gonna lose a spot.
You're gonna lose
Yeah.
a spot,
Yeah.
hey, but that's for
Yeah,
handicapped people,
me-
that's part of.
Me and your
that's
dad talked
part
about
of,
that when we were up
You know,
there.
that's part of,
Yeah, there's
reality.
one on the southwest side of the square too.
Yeah.
That we've looked at and probably going to rework
Yeah.
some there and make it, because,
even if it does take, you know, more parking away from us, we need to try to keep, because we have handicapped customers.
Right.
That
Yeah.
need to come in,
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
So,
So
I
we've,
mean,
we've discussed all these things, and like I say, I think just with just a little bit of time and a little more effort, we'll be able to
Yeah.
get things straightened out
Yeah.
and move in the right direction. But,
You know, it's-
like I say, it's a good problem to have, where
It's,
the
it's,
city's
yes,
growing.
it
and
is, yeah.
So all
I
the
mean,
things that we've wished for on the square for a long time
Oh,
are now
yeah.
coming to
Oh,
to
yeah.
bear, so.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we
And I mean,
appreciate you
it's,
coming
know,
and talking
I'm
to
tickled
us.
to death Charlie's done what he's done.
Yeah.
Everybody,
Yeah.
you know, it does look good.
Yeah,
But
But
we
if
just
you-
gotta, you know, try to do what we can. I
Yeah.
mean, that's all you can do.
and we'll do our best on our part, and if you have any other concerns, something
Yeah.
we're doing ain't working out,
Yeah.
whatever, let us know.
Yeah.
And, but we do
Like I say,
have, we've
it'll-
sat down several times and tried to
Yeah.
brainstorm with what
Yeah.
little brains we had,
Yeah.
you know, so,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
to try to get things better for
Yeah.
everybody up there,
Yeah.
so.
But it'll work out, I believe.
Okay, and like I say, if you got any other concerns, be sure and let us know.
I will.
It'll kind of be a trial and error for a little while to try to see what'll work and
Yeah.
what won't, so.
What we can't
yeah.
do, yeah.
Yeah,
All right, I
I
appreciate it.
appreciate you
Mark.
coming.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks. Anyone else that'd like to address the council? Kevin? Doing good, you?
Pretty good, just I guess everybody has a wish list. There used to be signs up here on the, they call it manifold break, or better known as Jake Brake. Can we do anything about that anymore?
I was just standing out before the meeting here thinking of that. We had talked about that earlier, and I was trying to think of a place we could put them. I was
They,
thinking about maybe off the Parkway entrances. I didn't know if that would be the best place or
There
someplace.
used to be one right in front of the Dairy Queen.
Yeah.
It, over the years, you know, things happen, though, I understand that,
Yeah.
I don't never remember one being there.
Yeah,
I don't either, but Wes and I have
Never
talked
remember
about it recently, that, and I've had some of the people that live on Main Street up
'Cause
here
I'm sure
around
we don't
Hardee's.
have an ordinance for it.
I don't know if we've got an ordinance, but I think it's worth putting the signs up and trying to police some of that, because,
It was just a thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, to go, you know, just
Good
as soon as they
thought.
come over in front of the restaurant there, you would wish that, not saying nothing about it, that some people be a little more respectful, but it.
Exactly.
And I think some of them do it just to listen to it.
yeah, it's fun, but,
I got it. I'm gonna use it.
yeah.
I hear you. Anyway, I appreciate it, y'all. I
Yeah.
just thought I'd mention that.
We're
Thank you.
going to
you.
try to work on that. Like I say, I've tried to think of a good spot to put it where traffic would see it.
Okay, yeah.
And I think maybe, you know, I was standing out there earlier today thinking, you know, do we put it at the off ramps of the Parkway?
Yeah.
Or do we get it somewhere closer? But we do want to work it, because the gentleman up here that he's told me, he said 2 o'clock in the morning, they'll come through and, you know, and he said, wakes me up. And so we need to,
Yeah, that, and while I'm here on Mark's behalf, I can understand the dumpster situation, because the one thing that I will add is, believe me, the raccoons do not discriminate against
Right.
nobody.
Yeah. They're pretty resourceful, aren't they? when they
Yeah,
want-
we had
Yeah.
a problem, and see, we went through that with the fiscal court there, or with y'all a few years back.
Yeah.
And, which we can't do nothing with them. They, as of that time, they had to be trapped and took to a sanctuary.
Right,
It could only be done by the city employee or the police.
yeah.
I'm sure everybody's got better things to do
Yeah.
than be riding around with a coon all day.
Yeah.
But just on his behalf, I thought I would say that.
Okay.
So
I think all the
appreciate it.
coons are at my house.
We've got pictures of them there at Dairy Queen on top of the menu board there to drive through, on top of the restaurant, walking around. They got a buffet.
Yeah.
Get animal control, sit traps?
I don't know if they have, city has, but there's a gentleman that I have used some personally from Edmonds County that traps wildlife like that. And
Yeah, you can be out there early in the morning, watch them, they'll go through, climb up on the dumpster, throw the lid open, grab
Yeah.
a bag of garbage, throw it out, and go through it. No runs in for
Yeah.
food, they got a buffet.
yeah, they're like a little person almost, the way they operate. So.
Anyway, thank y'all.
All right, thank you.
Kevin.
Anyone else want to address the council?
On the raccoons, George Hack pointed out about the dumpsters in like Pigeon Forge where they've got them bear-proofed. That they
Yeah.
have to kind of do a puzzle to unlock them.
Yeah.
So they make
We have done on some of the dumpsters, one of the gentlemen that works in Public Works has built some tops for them that you have to lock and unlock, and that keeps some of that down. And we'd be glad to do that, anybody that had some dumpsters that, the only downfall to that, and I think we discussed it this afternoon up behind the hotel there, is when you go out, you have to lock and unlock them, when you put stuff in them. So some people want to, some don't, and I understand that, but it takes a little more time when you're taking garbage out. But that's a possibility too, if you get to the point you want to.
Yeah, but when you get into like a holiday weekend and everything, the way it worked out, last Labor Day, we went almost 6 days before we had a garbage pickup.
Yeah.
Where they did get to it on Friday, and then was like the Wednesday of next week before they got there, so, I mean, we just literally had the whole garbage area set.
Right. And we can, and we discussed some of that today too, we can pick it up more often if need be. We do have people that pick up on Saturdays. Not sure about holidays, Wes, do we?
Yeah, we tried to, when that happened, we had a truck that broke down, and that threw us, a few days behind already. And, the holiday hit, it got bad last year.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you run into something like that, let us know. We'll do our best to help you out somehow. Hopefully that don't happen very often where we have trucks break down, but
Yeah, something happened, they didn't get there on Friday, and then Monday was a holiday, and then anyway,
yeah.
it was quite a gong Monday
Yeah.
out there, but they cleaned it up good.
Okay. Well, like I say, anytime you have an issue like that, be sure and let us know, and you're welcome to call me anytime, night or day, and if you're having an issue like that with it really piling up, we'll get it taken care of somehow. So, okay. Anyone else before we go on? Okay. All right, next item on the agenda is second and final reading of ordinance related to compensation for planning and zoning commissioners.
Whereas the Leitchfield Planning and Zoning Ordinance creates a planning and zoning board, whereas said ordinance lists the amount of pay for board members and chair of the board serving, whereas due to the time and dedication required of serving on said board, the rate of pay should be increased. Now therefore be it ordained that ordinance number 97-12 passed on 8/18/97, amended on 12/15/17, and 9/20/99 shall be amended as follows, with deleted portions being indicated by a line drawn through them and encompassed by brackets enclosing them, with added portions being underlined. Each member of the Planning Commission shall be compensated at the rate of $300 per month commencing July 1st, 2024, and the chairman shall receive the total compensation of $500 per month commencing on July 1st, 2024. And this is a second reading, so we'll need a vote.
Okay. So I'll entertain a motion in a second for us to have a roll call. Motion
I'll
by
make a
Clayton.
motion.
Second by Tootie. Denny?
Aye.
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 Thank you. Next up is approval of April 2024 financial statement. those are some other, the other statement that we have received during the last meeting to look at, so. Does anyone have any questions or concerns about the financial statement? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make the motion, Mayor.
Motion by Billy, second by
second.
Clayton. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Wes, you're up next. Discussion and approval of garbage truck purchase.
All right, I gave y'all a little paper that kind of typed up, kind of fills in on where we're at with garbage truck. We accepted bid for a new truck last year in March. May echo. And Best Equipment got the bid, with the understanding that we would have received the truck in March or April of this year. So far, they've moved us from March to June, from June to August, and now from August to November. And they're not they can't guarantee that we'll get it in November. That's just where they've moved it to, is projected time. So I contacted a couple other companies to see, and there's a couple that's got trucks sitting on the lot, almost identical to what we bid, what we ordered. Of course, it's a little bit more expensive, but that's kind of where we're at with this. Didn't know if you all wanted to keep waiting for our other truck, or wanted
So no deadline on the one that we have ordered?
No.
They can just they bid it too cheap?
Have they indicated that the price will be going up on the
I
one we
don't-
ordered?
On the one we've ordered, I don't think it can. If we stay in contract with them, the way I understand it, I mean, they're bound by that price.
But you
Now,
don't
they-
have any idea
But it
when
don't
you're
have
gonna
a
get it.
delivery date.
They may put us off for 2 or 3 years, and, then it'd just be, we'd have a 3 or 4 year old truck before we ever
If
get
you,
it.
if you have trucks breaking down, we need a truck.
Yes.
Definitely.
Right now, as of today, of course, that may change tomorrow, but we were running good today. And this is ARPA money that can be designated. I think that's what was designated for this truck to begin with in March. So I think the ARPA money has to be spent by a certain deadline.
Yeah, it has to be
Allocated and spent.
Yes,
obligated by the end
yes.
of this year and spent by the end of '26.
So, the other companies, the one that we was looking at, they have them sitting on the lot, could take delivery in less than 2 weeks. So it's basically whatever you all want me to do, if we want to wait or if we want to proceed with a little more expensive truck and get one here.
I'll make a motion, we buy a new truck.
I second it.
All in favor of that?
Aye.
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 Okay.
Thank you all.
Get it now.
Yeah.
We give $48,000 more for it, if you all know.
All right. First reading of fiscal year 23-24 amended budget ordinance. Ms. Sabrina?
Okay, and that garbage truck is in this, so we're good there. Okay, an ordinance amending the City of Leitchfield, Kentucky annual budget for fiscal year July 1, 2023 through June 30, 2024 by estimating revenues and resources and appropriating funds for the operation of city government. Whereas the City of Leitchfield, Kentucky has heretofore adopted its budget for fiscal year beginning July 1, 2023 and ending June 30, 2024 by ordinance enacted June 5, 2023. And whereas it is necessary to amend the said budget ordinance in order to more accurately reflect the revenues and expenditures of the City of Leitchfield, Kentucky in certain budget categories. Now therefore it be it ordained by the City of Leitchfield, Kentucky as follows, that sections 1 and 2 of the herein above described budget ordinance are amended to read as follows, with deleted portions being indicated by a single line drawn through them and added portions being indicated by a solid line drawn beneath them. Projected cash at June 30, 2023 in the general fund was $10,938,187, amending to $13,033,352. Utility fund amends from $11,667,866 to $12,750,296. Tourism fund, $1,661,849 to $1,956,578. The revenues, net profit returns, general fund, $665,000 to $780,000. Occupational taxes, $2,929,000 to $3 million. Property taxes, $795,600 to $856,600. Franchise taxes, oh, I skipped one. Insurance license taxes, $1,052,000 to $1,423,000. Franchise taxes, $371,000 to $310,000. ABC application and regulatory fees, $261,000 to $266,600. Other licenses, $700 to $900. Restaurant taxes in the general fund, $900,000 to $950,000. Tourism fund, $900,000 to $950,000. Transfer of restaurant taxes, general fund, -$900,000 to -$950,000. Hotel taxes, general fund, $9,000 to $10,000. Tourism fund, $9,000 to $10,000. Transfer of hotel taxes, general fund, -$9,000 to -$10,000. Mineral severance income, $18,625 to $22,400. Rental income, $60,650 to $54,150. Other revenue, $114,442 to $147,951. Interest income, $16,025 to $22,550. Sale of property, $10,000 to $7,400. Grant income, general fund, $804,300 to $186,987. Tourism fund, $1,550, stays the same, $1,550. HB 413, base court revenue, general fund, $10,000 to $10,300. Incentive pay, $9,200 to $86,000. IDC contributions, $80,000, stays the same at $80,000. Fire runs, $1,000 to $0. Grayson County fire dues, $145,500 to $148,150. State aid fire department stays the same at $11,500. Planning and zoning code enforcement permits and fees, $4,500 to $15,210. Municipal road aid, $140,980, stays the same at $140,980. Garbage pickup fees stays the same at $1,500,000. Solid waste dumping fees, $995,000 to $1,150,000. Recycling fees, $5,000 to $7,375. Animal shelter animal control income, $91,250 to $94,650. Parks and recreational income, $10,119,125 to $160,579. In the utility fund, water sales, $2,427,050 to $2,478,450. Sewer sales, $1,862,550 to $1,664,390. Gas sales, $3,692,400 to $3,374,875. Grant income in the utility fund, $661,200 to $1,500. Tourism other income in the tourism fund, $12,300 to $20,800. Tourism Aquatic Center revenue, $229,500 to $244,500. Total current year revenue, general fund, $20,299,397 to $10,482,682. Utility fund, from $8,643,200 to $7,519,215. Tourism fund, $1,152,350 to $1,226,850. Total revenue and carry forward, general fund, $31,237,584 to $23,516,034. Utility fund, $20,311,066 to $20,269,511. Tourism fund, $2,814,199 to $3,183,428. On the expenditures, in the general fund, general and admin goes from $3,337,200 to $2,526,606. Alcohol beverage control from $428,505 to $432,955. Industrial development stays the same at $133,300. Police department from $2,136,970 to $2,140,650. Fire department from $933,230 to $916,030. Planning and zoning from $236,450 to $232,450. Public Works Department, $3,765,240 to $3,733,015. Animal Shelter Animal Control from $435,810 to $437,310. Parks and Recreation, $11,078,635 to $1,124,481. And the Utility Fund, water, $3,408,050 to $3,549,850. Sewer, $2,445,750 to $2,349,450. Gas, $2,930,875 to $2,800,875. Capital improvements, $2,724,900 to $611,675. In the tourism fund, on tourism, it's $1,028,429 to $779,229. Tourism Aquatic Center, $797,650 to $776,400. Total current year expenses, general fund, $22,485,340 to $11,676,797. Utility fund, $11,509,575 to $9,311,850. Tourism fund, $1,826,079 to $1,555,629. Current year income or loss, general fund, loss of $2,185,943 to a loss of $1,194,115. Utility fund, loss of $2,866,375, a loss of $1,792,635. Tourism fund, loss of $673,429 to a loss of $328,779. Adjustment for non-cash budget items, depreciation in the utility fund, $1,485,000 stays the same. $1,485,000, sorry. Projected ending cash balance with carry forward. General fund goes from $8,752,244 to $11,839,237. Utility fund goes from $10,286,491 to $12,422,661. And tourism fund goes from $988,120 to $1,627,799.
Thank you, Sabrina. That was a mouthful, wasn't it? Does anyone have any questions? This is our first reading of this, so we won't have any action necessary on this since it's the first reading, but if there are any concerns or questions for Sabrina?
Oh, I just wanted to point out that the Tourism Commission did approve their budget, and the Utilities Commission is supposed to approve theirs the next meeting, which is this Thursday, and then that way the second reading, and they've all said they don't expect any changes, so this should be good. It just hasn't been officially approved. I just wanted you all to know that.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Okay, next up is the mayor's budget message, so if you all will bear with me for a few moments, I'll read this. Dear council members, I'm presenting to you our proposed budget for 2024-2025. The Budget Committee began meeting in April to initiate the process of creating a sound and responsible budget for the coming year. I want to offer special thanks to Sabrina Whitaker and the Budget Committee for their tireless efforts in directing our city on a path to fiscal responsibility. Our goal is to be financially sound for the present while looking to the future and the opportunities awaiting the city of Leitchfield. As mayor, I want to personally thank Sabrina for her expertise and dedication. Thank Billy Dallas, Terry Haycraft, and Tootie Cottrell, the members of the Budget Committee. This team worked together to make a daunting task seem easy. As we continue to seek financial responsibility, we have invested money into interest-bearing accounts in order to take advantage of favorable rates. Some items of note in the new budget include: we're continuing the process of enlarging our transfer station facility, which will include more area to better separate materials, make it safer for our employees, and help prepare us for future growth. Our police department will purchase 3 new vehicles per our yearly needs assessment, allowing our department to better serve and protect our residents and businesses. We are expanding the area of the animal shelter to better equip the needs of the shelter employees and the public. The goal is to care for the animals and accommodate the needs of the visiting public during the current and ongoing growth at this facility. We will purchase a new ladder truck for the fire department, ensuring the department's ability to serve and protect our citizens. Our street department is working diligently to address the needs of the public by purchasing new paving equipment. This will allow for street expansion and new and improved sidewalks. Our parks and recreation employees will add improvements to our park, including upgrades to our ball fields, shade structures for playgrounds contingent on grants, and other items to enhance the facilities. As we move forward toward 2025, the future looks promising for our city. There's been significant growth and investment in our community. We believe this budget will put us in a position to take advantage of new opportunities. As mayor, I'm proud to say that I work with a great forward-thinking group of dedicated employees who strive daily to provide outstanding service to the residents of Leitchfield. Thank you. And on that line of thinking, we have people here that have made great investments in our city, and we absolutely want to do our part also. We want to be good stewards. We want to be good neighbors. We want to be just partners. And I think we're moving in that direction, and it's exciting. And I think we've got great times in the future. So, all right. Up next, we'll have a discussion of garbage rate increase per ordinance. This is basically just an open discussion. If anybody has any questions. As you remember, we froze garbage rates last year in an attempt to take care of our citizens and give them a break on some of the rates. But even with us freezing the rates, the people that serve us don't freeze the rates. So we look generally at about a 4.5% increase each year, and that's contractually obligated by us up front. So one of the things that we discussed today at length, Sabrina and I and Lori, and I think we'll be able to sit down in a short amount of time and talk about some things that we may be able to do to alleviate some of the prices raising for our citizens. So does anybody have any questions regarding that? And again, I'll say the ordinance that we had originally, we were actually indebted to increase it 4.5% each year. So we drafted an ordinance last year to freeze that. So what we would look back at likely is going back to the original ordinance that would show a 4.5% raise across the board. But again, that's an ongoing process that we're going to try and work to alleviate some of that increase. So,
Mayor, how much longer do we have on the contract with our current?
I'm thinking, Wesley, about 4 more years. We did a 5-year contract last year when I came in. So we're looking at around 4 more years of the contract with Ohio County people. And that is something that we do watch continually, and we want good service from them. We demand good service from them because when we don't get it, it shows. Neighborhood, we learn real quick that things are getting behind. So we try to work with them, but we also keep an eye on things like that to look in case there needs to be some changes made that we can. But Wes, I think, is in regular contact with those people, and when we have problems, they usually try to meet them and take care of them. So,
Haven't we had some problems in the past with them?
most of the
Bad
problems,
contract.
Wes can probably tell you more than I can, but most of the problems have to do with manpower and vehicles. They have
On
vehicles
their
break
part.
down, just like we do, yeah. They have turnover in their
They fall
employees.
victim to things like they've had a truck turnover here in the last month, and just different things like that. So it seems to never fail. When they have an issue, we do too.
Yeah.
And then that really puts us behind. But it seems like they're working a little better. I think he's actually hired a couple more drivers and subbed it out to somebody else too to help with it. So he's making an effort to get us caught up. We just take a lot of trash in a day's time, and it's hard to get rid of as much as we take in, and then when you get behind, it makes it even worse.
And this expansion that we're working on will help with some of that. We're building another building. Where we run into problems is when we fill the building we've got up and it piles up in the parking lot. It seems to always be a windy period of time that happens, and we have a lot of stuff going around. But the expansion will get us another building that we can keep everything hopefully inside. So a lot of that blowing around and everything will
What monetary loss did we have by the 4%? We know how much? Dollar?
I don't know that we,
Anybody?
I haven't sat down and figured personally, you Sabrina. No, I said, if the solid waste committee wants to meet and we want to kind of get some figures together, I will get any figures y'all want together. Next time y'all meet, if this is what you're going to discuss, let me know ahead of time so I can get stuff ready and I'll get whatever information y'all need together.
I'd like to see a figure that
I'm sorry, Billy, what was the question?
we absorbed. What did we,
What did it
we not,
cost?
what not what we lost, what did we not take in? I mean,
We talked about that, Wes, and I think last time when we asked to freeze it, around $18,000 was our calculation of what it would have brought in revenues if we'd have increased the garbage rates at the 4.5%.
That was last year,
That was
correct?
last year. But it
so,
should be the same though, right? I mean, if it's
You would
4.5%.
think.
I think it'd be close,
you
yeah.
would think it would be close.
It wouldn't be, our change. But I was the one that kind of pushed for it last year on freezing it, and I would feel the same way this time. I could understand if the city was in bad financial shape. The city's in fantastic financial shape. We've got nearly 7.4 million in CDs. It looks like, according to Sabrina's April statement, we're positive $1 million, almost 1.6 million. It'll be less than that, but as of April, for the year, we're positive 1.6. So obviously, $18,000 didn't really impact the city that much. So, and the rate affects the, and residential is what we froze, just residential. So I would encourage doing that again, especially in light of the fact, unless you guys find something different, we still have the highest rates in the state by a fair amount.
So you know that's the number.
That was what it was that's what we figured based on the number of customers, and you multiply that times 4.5% with the rate, what it was and what it will be.
How many customers were they, Denny? You remember?
I don't have any, I don't remember how many customers it
Got a little
was.
over 4,200, I believe, residential customers.
That'd be close. 19, 18.5, 19.
So it's something we can mull around and,
We got several more customers than we had, but it's still, I don't have the exact number.
I agree with Denny.
And what I've seen from other, of course, from other areas, it looks like they're going more privatizing the, and Gina gave me the list of the 16 cities that, basically in our population of 7,300 to 5,700, and there's only 5 out of that many that have their own carbon system. So maybe not now, but I think that's something to look at down the road. The other thing that we could maybe change to help with that too is most cities provided additional rate for the second tote. Now, if a person buys their own tote, we don't, right? If we supply it, then we do, but if they have their own. So other cities also typically charge for a pickup of like a couch or something like that, and it's all included in our rate. So we do provide more services, it seems like, than most of the other cities. Now, most cities, from what I saw, do provide free leaf pickup and then trees and that type of stuff, but the other stuff is not. So in my mind, it makes sense to kind of adopt theirs because you pay for what you use. You've got one person that maybe have one bag and they're charged the same amount,
Right.
you know, that somebody has 3 or 4 totes. So I would encourage freezing the rates again. Again, I could understand if we're in poor financial shape or if we were extremely low from the rest of the state, but based on the current situation, I would recommend we freeze for another year.
I would recommend that the Solid Waste Committee meet yet again with, instead of speculating numbers, that we get the numbers from Sabrina and Wesley, and then we can make a more educated decision.
Well,
And
even if
that
it's-
is our side. And Denny, you're
I
welcome
agree,
to come.
I agree.
Even if it's more, even if it's 25,000, I mean, that's not
You're-
going to impact
You
our
are welcome to
budget.
attend. I mean, we value your input.
Thanks.
Welcome.
Yeah, and I think, like I say, we had
Is it
some,
this thing?
we had some discussion earlier today about this and some ideas that we discussed. Maybe we can send out an email to you guys, and that way you can mull it over, think about it, and we'll be able to make a decision soon. Sabrina and I always worry about trying to change things in midstream, because I know
Right.
Sabrina may put a knot on my head one of these days for that, but, so I tried to tiptoe around her a little bit, but she assured me today that we could do that, and it wouldn't cause her very many headaches, so maybe you and I can sit down tomorrow and jot down what we were talking about, and send it out and let everybody see what they think about that.
We do have some huge infrastructure projects, so,
Yeah, yeah. So,
that we're gonna take a hit on, so.
okay. Any other comments on that? Okay. Next up is our first reading of the fiscal year 2024-25 proposed budget ordinance.
Okay, and an ordinance adopting the City of Litchfield, Kentucky annual budget for the fiscal year July 1, 2024 through June 30, 2025 by estimating revenues and resources and appropriating funds for the operation of city government. Whereas an annual budget proposal and message has been prepared and delivered to the City Council of the City of Litchfield, Kentucky for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2024 and ending June 30, 2025 by the mayor of the city. Whereas the City Council has reviewed the said budget proposal and budget message and made all modifications which were deemed appropriate. Now therefore be it ordained by the City of Litchfield, Kentucky as follows, that the annual budget for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2024 and ending June 30, 2025 is hereby adopted as follows. Projected cash June 30, 2024, general fund, $11,839,237, utility fund, $12,442,661, tourism fund, $1,627,799. On revenues, general fund, net profit return, $780,000, occupational taxes, $3 million, property taxes, $856,000, insurance license taxes, $1,423,000, franchise taxes, $310,000, ABC application and regulatory fees, $266,600, other licenses, $900, restaurant tax, $950,000 in the general fund, $950,000 in the tourism fund, transfer restaurant taxes, the general fund, negative $950,000, hotel taxes, general fund, $10,000, tourism fund, $10,000, transfer of hotel taxes, general fund, negative $10,000, mineral severance income, $22,400, rental income, $54,150, other revenue, $141,000, interest income, $14,050, sale of property, $61,000, grant income, $776,900 in the general fund, $1,550,000 in the tourism fund. HB 413 base court revenue, general fund, $10,300, incentive pay, $86,000, IDC contributions, $40,000, fire runs, 0, Grayson County fire dues, $148,150, state aid fire department, $11,500, planning and zoning and code enforcement permits and fees, $7,600, $7,360, municipal road aid, $135,600, garbage pickup fees, $1,560,000, solid waste dumping fees, $1,150,000, recycling fees, $5,000, animal shelter, animal control revenue, $93,650, parks and recreational income, $145,400, healthplex center, $10 million, water sales in the utility fund, $2,496,050, sewer sales, $1,663,808, gas sales, $3,659,500, grant income in the utility fund, $679,800, tourism other income in the tourism fund, $48,700, tourism aquatic center revenue, $244,500, total current year revenue, general fund, $21,098,960, utility fund, $8,499,158, tourism fund, $1,254,750. Total revenue and carry forward, general fund, $32,938,197, utility fund, $20,941,819, tourism fund, $2,882,549. Expenditures, general and administrative, general fund, $3,101,300, alcohol beverage control, $401,575, Industrial Development, $133,650. Police Department, $2,319,375. Fire Department, $1,287,030. Planning and Zoning Code Enforcement, $375,400. Public Works Department, $4,757,460. Animal Shelter Animal Control, $506,010. Parks and Recreation, $887,125. Healthplex Center, $10 million. Water in the Utility Fund, $3,706,100. Sewer, $2,393,650. Gas, $3,115,275. Capital Improvements, $3,319,639. Tourism, in the Tourism Fund, $1,048,075. Tourism Aquatic Center, $828,400. Total current year expenses, General Fund, $23,768,925. Utility Fund, $12,534,664. Tourism Fund, $1,876,475. Total current year net income or loss, General Fund, loss of $2,669,965. Utility Fund, loss of $4,035,506. Tourism Fund, loss of $621,725. Adjustment for non-cash budget items, depreciation in the Utility Fund, $1,575,500. Projected ending cash balance with carry forward in the General Fund, $9,169,272. Utility Fund, $9,982,655. Tourism Fund, $1,006,074.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone have any questions for Sabrina? on
Thank
those
you,
numbers?
Sabrina.
It's been a long, hard road for her with this, so she's glad to get to this point, I think. But we do appreciate you. All right, next item up is the following tourism commissioner terms are up on 6/30/2024. Carla Wynn, Kelly Stevenson, Ryan Bratcher. I spoke with Ilsa earlier, and she has spoke with those three, and they are, she would like to see those people return to the commission. So my recommendation would be to reappoint those people. Their term would be from 7/1/24 to 6/30/2027. So if,
I make a motion that we,
Do we need to do all three of them, or we need to do them individually?
do them all together.
do them all together. I'll make a motion that we accept each one of them again.
I'll second.
Motion by Clayton, second by Billy, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Thank you. All right, down to unfinished business, code enforcement amended ordinance for condemned property. Erling?
I have been working on the amended ordinance. The quarterly meeting for the Code Enforcement Board is next Tuesday, so I'm going to go over some ideas with them as well, and hopefully get their feedback, and then have something to y'all shortly then.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you, Erling. Further discussion on tax moratorium for property taxes on people buying structures and refurbishing. Well, that's something we discussed recently. I think Denny had been looking some into that. Is there any discussion on that? Anything further right now that you guys want to talk about?
Terry typed up some stuff for us and did some research on it, found some other cities. And what we had was Louisville, their program. I would probably need to do a little bit differently, and it's consistent with our ordinance as opposed to Louisville's ordinances, but we talked about it previously. It's a program that everybody's aware of. I don't know if anybody got any questions about it. The only thing updated would be, I talked to Ernie Perkins today. He said, "You tell everybody I support this 100%. I'm fully behind this." And he didn't have any problems with how the KRS outlines what he would have to do in his office. So he was very supportive, thought it was a great idea.
Okay. Any thoughts on this, guys? My first thought maybe is for, if we can get something typed up to present to everyone, that everyone can sit down and read and get, so if,
Because there are some things we haven't decided on, like the percentage that they're going to
Right.
have to
yeah. So,
put into the program, to the facility. And then Terry pointed out, we need to define what the various things mean. But Henderson did that, they just followed the KRS, which is the right way to do it, in my opinion. So
Yeah,
just put
they,
in-
and I can send it to you all too. It was different examples of, I think there was 5 or 6 different cities that have implemented this, and I sent them an attachment of the application process, and some of them even had like electronic brochures that explain the process, because my big question with Denny and Gina was, I still don't have a clear definition of what we're telling people. Yes, we have an application, but what is it for? And there were so many different ideas floating around that I felt better after I saw how other places had defined it.
yeah.
I think our meeting last week was a good starting point, and it's definitely not finished. And what I had typed up was when Denny gave us Louisville Metro's assessment and reassessment tax moratorium program, and he had gone through and marked out what wasn't relevant to Leitchfield. Only thing I typed up was what was left of that.
Yeah.
That was it, because it was too many marks. I did not have, I just needed it all put together.
Okay.
So that's all that was. We can send that to you all too.
Yeah, and it'll be something that everybody can sit down and read, and maybe become familiar with, and then we can get down to the bones of it with numbers and decide what we want to, what percentage we want to do, so.
Terry, I did hand out what you typed up, so everybody has a copy of it.
Oh, okay.
But if
Oh,
anybody would
so-
like an email format, just let me know. I don't care to.
Yeah, what is typed up is what was left of Louisville Metro's program
Those brochures are.
after the effect.
Those brochures are really good, but basically just parrots the KRS. You know, that's all it is. Not anything
Right, and
elaborate.
there were some things in that, I know that we talked about on the original. I mean, I had to look some of this stuff up, because when I originally looked at it, I was envisioning neighborhoods, because it's kind of what, like Part B of Jefferson County's was about, was, I don't want to say blighted, because we decided at last meeting blighted was going to be taken out due to the, or that word blighted was going to be taken out due to finding a definition that was in a KRS of blighted, and that didn't really apply to this. But Jefferson County's kind of focused on kind of like neighborhoods, but like maybe a property owner owned multiple pieces of property. And then in theirs, it was based on, like, it was called a qualified census tract. Well, and it's designated by the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development. So I just Googled it. And yes, Kentucky does have one, and each county that has qualifying neighborhoods in Kentucky, it's all lined out there. Grayson County doesn't have any, so that's a plus.
Yeah.
You know, we don't really need that. It was a good starting session meeting.
Okay.
I think things are a little more clear.
Okay.
So this is a county one?
No, this is just for the city.
Just for the city.
It's just for the city.
No, I'm
And
saying
it's-
though, you took it from a county.
Took
No,
it from
no,
Louisville
it's-
Metro.
Only cities are eligible for the
Gotcha.
program pursuant to the KRS. I assume that's right. KRS says outline who's
You
eligible.
said county, kind of threw me off.
Well, there was a county. I think it's Frank,
It's okay.
it's in one of those attachments that I sent you. There is a county that is.
I guess what I was getting at, is there a city one out there too, or is there just a county?
Yes, there's cities.
They're all, almost all cities. All the ones I could find
Yes.
was cities, so it's. and
But
it's
with
not-
Louisville Metro, it would include the county, because they're.
And they
metro
go by
government,
the
right?
KRS.
So-
Louisville and
on the
Lexington
book.
are the two that have the metros.
They
so
do.
They would be.
Yeah.
Franklin County was referenced for the brochure.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you guys would sit down and familiarize yourself with that and come up with some ideas that may be numbers that we can look at. And I think anything we can do to help people, especially to improve the property in the city. And I think, as I said earlier, people that are making our town better, I want us to do our part too, to help them do that, because it helps everyone. So, okay, anything else on that? Unfinished business. Billy, you have any unfinished business? Terry?
I do have a question. I'm going to aim it at Wes and Scotty at the same time, because I'm not sure which one of them might have an update on it. What is the update on the batting cages at the baseball park?
I talked with Dustin today, and the young man is from Fabrication, and the pad is done. Wes has completed the pad where they're going to go, and they have gone out and tested drill for what they're going to have for a foundation. And Dustin seems to think that his concrete guys are going to be out there next week and put those in. He has told me that he'll have like a 3-day turnaround, get the metal for that, and then he'll be able to fabricate it. They're going to be completed this month. So we'll have them on this.
But Dustin's not doing the nets, correct?
No, we have the nets, they were shipped in separately, and we'll go ahead and go after Dustin gets the structures up.
They will be done and functioning and usable by June 30th, correct?
That's the plan.
Yeah, I mean, I just hate it because ball season's over in like 2 weeks and our kids haven't even got to use it.
Right. Had so much
That's a
rain and
shame.
everything. And
That's all I have.
okay. Tootie, unfinished
No, sir.
business? Clayton?
No, sir.
Gina?
I have a question, and I don't know who to direct it toward, but we had talked one time about the water on Cave Mill Road, and there was a study done or something. Where are we on that? And
Corps of Engineers came in and done a study on some of our runoff. That is something ongoing, and Scotty and I have been out there several times, Wes and I, Aaron and I, looking to see what we might be able to do. Some of the worst area there is on private property, and I think there would be a possibility that the city could alleviate some of that and do some things, but we would have to have permission from those property owners to do that, basically with.
A drainage easement.
Yeah.
Basically, to be able for us to-
Because it basically is, the bulk of it runs between houses from Brumfield and what's the next one over? Sycamore. So that's, that's kind of where we're at with that.
Would we put in a bigger tile crossing the road?
I don't think it can handle it
I don't-
downstream.
I don't know that we'd want to
The
put a
same
bigger
amount of
tile.
water.
I think
You're
there's-
talking about crossing Broomfield or crossing
I
Cave
think there's a
Mill?
problem, but it's
Cave Mill.
Cave Mill.
on out.
That's a good-sized tile crossing Cave
a
Mill, so I
huge
don't know
tile.
that, I don't know if
Okay.
we'd want anything bigger there.
Yeah, when we're backed up there, we're backed up in Lilac Estates, we're backed up in,
Yeah.
there's a problem that is backing us up. I don't know if you get a tile as big as this room, but where's
Right.
it going?
But that's what I'm saying. I followed it all the way out to Watson School Road. And
Yeah.
that's as far as I could walk it. But,
It basically goes out, where we had the large water break down out
right.
by Cave
but
Mill and Lilac there.
between
that-
there and there.
Yeah.
I don't know how you would clean it out, if you can clean it out, if that would solve anything, but I think that's an issue.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
It's an ongoing
You
issue.
put
and-
bigger tile down there in Lilac Estates, you're gonna have to put a bigger bridge.
Right.
Then you're going, you're just going,
Yeah.
and that's not the city.
No.
I know.
Right. But I do think there's some things we could do to alleviate that in that area. Most of the Corps of Engineers study dealt with runoff from the railroad tracks on 259 North, heading south and southeast there, that goes down by the new Save-A-Lot and the apartments behind Farmers and all that. So, but that's kind of been an ongoing issue. We've talked to a couple of property owners out there and offered some relief. But part of that relief would require some effort on their part that I don't know that they're willing to go forward with.
Well, I know,
So-
just in a same topic, different topic, but driving around during the rain, you could see a lot of our drain tiles are crushed, stopped up, not going. Ditches are not
Yeah.
where they need to be, and I'm not saying that we can handle all that, but I do think at some point that needs to become a project, whether we outsource it like we did painting the fire hydrants, I don't know,
Yeah.
but need to have somebody cleaning those out.
Yeah, we've got to get all the residents on board too, because usually we'll go through a ditch and they'll come through and fill it up because they can't haul it.
Well,
They'd rather
that
have-
might be
Yeah,
a
that's what
code
happens.
enforcement thing.
Well, even up on Hilltop, and, the ditch, it's got littler and littler and littler, and that rain, it was just backing up to our house and the houses along there, and, if nobody else don't want their ditch dug out, I want mine dug out, so it just keep going, whatever they
Yeah, but
want to do.
if your neighbors don't want it, it can't go nowhere.
Huh?
If your neighbors don't want it, it can't go nowhere.
But is it, and then this is a question I don't know, is it a property owner's decision as to whether or not we clean out the city's right-of-way drainage?
No.
Not city right away.
Yeah.
But a lot of times we have to cross, on Clay Mill, for instance, we have to replace some tile out there, we have to cut a driveway. And we will eventually fix that back. Some people just, you have to,
I got you.
they have to get in it. But, I think it'd be worth starting somewhere. We can maybe make that a winter project that.
Some places are gonna be deep.
Right.
Some of them are gonna be, some
You won't be able to look.
And then I know too that like the grates, I don't know the technical term, but the
Grates.
grates that are covered up a lot of places,
Yeah.
so.
And usually if we see that, we will try to clean them off, but for some reason, people want to dump all their grass
Grass clippings.
clippings and their leaves and pile them in the ditch. And so, it just,
I know.
it takes a little while to go around and find a ball.
Right. Like
Well,
I said, I by no means thought you had a magical answer. I just
No.
thought that we would.
I wish we did.
We did have a plan to work on it, whenever we could get everything else kind of fixed back that washed out after the big rain.
Right.
Like I said, maybe fall, winter, we can start looking at that a little closer and at least clean out some tiles and move in that direction. But some of it is going to take some participation on people's parts that may not want to go to the length that we'd have to go to alleviate.
What do you do when it keeps growing up and
You dig it out.
Dig it out,
What can you do?
Dig it out.
and hopefully they'll fill it back full. But we have a lot more people than you think that.
Oh, I'm sure
rather
they,
have their yard where they can mow it than their water flowing.
I think we do need to start looking at developments
Yeah.
that, and how they're ditched
Yeah. Well, they have
to
have-
compensate for 4 inches of rain in 15 minutes.
Yeah, and most of, like the new subdivisions and stuff going in, they have to submit a drainage plan before they can even get everything approved, so that helps. But it's still,
From an engineer.
yeah.
From engineer.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't always are
It doesn't
right.
always work.
They're not always right, and they're not liable.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we've got a lot of water that we normally don't get. I mean, I've seen places flood that I've never seen flood before, so.
Yes.
Everything's changed a little bit, especially when you have 5 inches.
we're right there on Hilltop, and so I imagine what the people down below us
Yeah.
Yeah.
are like.
Jenny, anything else?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Denny?
No.
Lori?
The only thing I have is, I finally had a chance to work a little bit more on the app last week, and I think that I've got most of it the way that I would like to see it. I know there's gonna be tweaks once we do, get it up and running, but hopefully in the next couple days, I've been running some tests and sending some just test requests and seeing how they're coming out and make sure they're going to the right people. But hopefully sometime this week, we'll be able to get that up and running and get it pushed out to our citizens to start getting it downloaded.
I was on it today looking around, and I really wanted to click the sign up button, but I was afraid to. So
You
is it,
can.
is
Yeah,
it
go right
okay to
ahead.
sign
Yeah,
up now?
Yeah, you can go ahead and sign up. And if you want to send a request,
I
just
didn't
to
want to
see
be
how
the
it
only
works,
one.
feel free to.
And Lori say, Jerry Haycraft's already signed up for this.
Well, we hope that we can get a lot of participation in that, and I think that will alleviate a lot of our things as far as sign-up announcements and things like that for sports programs. And if we can get everybody to buy in, it'll be a great addition for us and for the residents.
And they'll be able to use that for if limb pickup or anything that they would normally call here for or
Yes.
text, they can submit a request, right?
Yes, there is, let me pull it up on my phone because I've been playing with it. When they download it, there's going to be a button there that says Start Request, and you go into that, and then there's different topics. And I know we're going to have to add topics that I've probably not thought about, but we've got quite a few in there, and they'll just have to choose that topic or choose something general close to it, and then we can update it as we go along. But it's pretty simple, and I'm
think
kind of
it will
excited
be.
to get it going.
Me
And
too.
we'll have the ability to track those requests, to keep track of whether they've been done or not.
That'll be
Which is
good.
important, so. Yeah. Okay. Laura, anything else?
No.
Erling?
I would have let Mandy and them know, but I think they left. On the parking, I just wanted, so you all can let customers know, on the 2-hour, it is citable between a $20 and $100 citation. So if you ever want to let a customer know, and there's a 24-hour rule as well. After 24 hours, a vehicle can be towed. So just
Okay.
giving everybody some information.
So is there somewhere we can call? Because I know that you're right next to me, so I'm sure you've experienced the same that I have. And I have employees from other businesses parking in front of my business and taking up spots for 8, 9 hours.
You can call the city police.
You know, I don't want to be ugly to my neighbor, but when I can't have a customer come in, that's where it hurts us. That's why I'm here. But
The
God.
biggest issue with parking is with Mandy's overnight stays, the short-term rentals, you might say.
Right.
Okay, that's the ones that are staying, I've noticed at the store. But that has died down, because you can look at her booking online, you know, I was at her real Airbnb.
Yeah.
And you know, this past week, she was fully booked, basically. And you come to town, and there was cars every day, morning, night, still there.
Yeah.
You know, staying all week. But it has got better this week, there's not as many, and, you know, so it has died down. The restaurant's really not that big of an issue.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yes, there are gonna be times, but, you know, that's to be expected.
If
So
I
like I told
can keep,
Mandy,
but if the restaurant will keep their employees from parking.
yeah, there's always part,
That's-
there's some.
Yeah, and I think that's,
I've talked to Terry,
I think it's been
Okay.
done here.
yeah.
And, he's told me that he's informed them not to park out front.
Yeah.
Okay.
But just like me, you'll see my truck out front. Well, I got news for you. As soon as my dad rolls in, why's the truck out front, son?
Yeah.
You need to be out back.
It's what dads do, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, you know,
Yeah, which I park to go in, because I have to go in the front door, so the
Right.
back door's locked, so I
Right.
can't get in the back door.
Yeah.
Till I go in the front, I usually go in front.
Yeah.
Unlock, go in the back, unlock, and go around back.
Yeah.
You know.
And we don't want to be, like, I don't want to have to call somebody and have their.
Well, here's the thing, you know, what we're trying to do is a process. It's going to take some time, but if somebody abuses the process, we need to know about it or we can't deal with it. So, you know, call me, call City Hall, leave a message for me, anything like that. I'll be glad to help you deal with it. And it's just going to kind of be a process and elimination to try to make everybody aware this is what we want to do, you know, and so you
I
fit.
mean, all of us need each other, so we
Yeah.
can keep
Oh, yeah.
going.
Right.
Because if one of us fails, that might be one less person.
Yeah.
When they come to shop in my shop, the men don't want to come in there.
Yeah.
They're gonna go see Mark.
Yeah.
You know.
And I've had people that stay in Mandy's apartments come in the store and say, hey, you know, this is a neat little store. We
Yeah.
don't see stores like this. We're from Georgia, and we
Yeah.
don't see stores like this, you know.
Yeah.
They'll come in and buy something,
Yeah.
you know.
you know,
I mean,
one,
it's a good,
one suggestion that I had, and everybody may think it's crazy, you know, when they come in to stay for several days there,
yeah.
if they would be like a 15-minute
Yeah.
there for the people to get their luggage out, put it up, and then move on.
Maybe put in a spot at the end of their building. Close to the
Right.
front of their building. sign up that says this is for checking in at,
Right.
under Airbnb.
Right.
Right.
Where they can pull in there, unload their stuff, and then go back there and park
Yes.
in the parking spot. I hadn't thought about mentioning it to Robert, see what his opinion.
I think if they're guided that way, they would do that.
You know.
I mean, even if they pull up in the front and unload their luggage and then go park,
Right.
I mean, that's a 2-minute deal to unload your luggage unless you've come to stay for a week or a month.
And that's something that we need to get with them and get them working toward that, tell them, and there's gonna be parking behind the bank there, there's gonna be,
Like I say, I've dealt with this for the last 2 years while they remodeled it.
Yeah.
I had a customer, when they was remodeling it, pulled in one morning to come in the store, and they jumped on him and said, "You can't park there, we need you to work there." And knowing him, I was surprised he moved his truck.
Yeah.
He was here just a few minutes or so.
yeah.
And, and he got very upset over it, and I said, "Look," I said, I said, "they're just trying to work." I said,
Yeah.
"Plenty parking," I said, "We'll get along."
Yeah. Yeah.
But, and that, that's the biggest thing that we, but having to get like tractor trailers, and we have to come in, I'll have to hunt people down to move cars, because they can't turn tractor trailer in.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like I say, it's getting better.
Yeah.
It seems that they're not having as many Airbnb, and that's gonna die down. I
Yeah.
realize That in a restaurant, gonna die. Any business that's new is gonna take off, it's gonna
Right.
boom, and eventually it will die down.
Oh, I mean, you could do no overnight parking on the square. You could do, I mean,
Yeah.
we can take it, we can put meters, we can go as far as you wanna go.
I even said that, nobody liked that idea.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can't police yourself or neighbor yourself, I mean, and you're coming to us for something to do,
Yeah.
you may not like what we have to do.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah.
but you gotta try to appease everybody
Yeah.
that make everybody good. I truly think you all can work it out between yourselves, but
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But like I said too, if you have issues, let us know. We'll work with you and them to the best of our ability. And I think it's more of a learning curve than anything. I think once people realize, and it's a respect for other people. And,
Yes.
That's what it boils down to.
The other day, we had a customer park at the back door, and, we put a big sign on the
Yeah.
garage door, no parking. Robert went and found the person who moved, he said, "Mark," he said, "I'm gonna tell you." He said, "Cole," he said, "I can only do so much." He said, "People don't want to listen to me."
yeah, your area's not the only, not the only ones having problems.
You don't want to make people mad.
Yeah.
I have to live with this.
We don't want to have to do that. We're trying
Uh,
to
we-
find something because it'll work for all of us. It's
Right.
beneficial
Sure.
for every business
Yeah.
on the
And
square.
but if you do have people blocking entrances and exits, then let us know. We'll figure.
Spots in front of my shop to park their personal vehicles, and
Yeah.
they cost me more money than I make, I spent
Sure.
on it.
Yeah. They can't,
Sure.
Danielle, they asked me, "You can't go out here at 3 o'clock and start putting up cones."
No.
We're not gonna do that.
Right.
Well, maybe Steak and Stone needs to buy all y'all lunch one day, and you have a meeting in there and discuss your
I
neighborhood.
mean, we've tried to be respectful of them, but
Yeah.
we just kind of expect the same.
Sure.
And you don't get a lot of response sometimes. I'm small, I'm very small. So,
Yeah.
she is too. A lot of people don't even know that she's upstairs
Yeah.
from me, so it's hard.
And I
Well-
had one client that had to walk a full block to even get to my door, and he was in pain. I'm a massage therapist.
Yeah.
So he's in pain, walking all the way down the block, trying to get to my door, and then having to go, it's
Yeah.
just,
Yeah.
that
And-
he's gonna be a little bit.
If Steak and Stone's customers get there before my customers, they get parking spots.
Yeah.
I get there before they do.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the parking signs should help, because
Yeah.
you can
I
do
think that
anything
would
you
help.
need to do in 2 hours.
You would think,
Yeah.
Yeah.
People are out and gone.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And we'll continue, like I say, just, if you, people continue to abuse it, let us know, and we'll try to deal with it. But if anybody's blocking your rear entrance and things like that, let us know. We'll let the police department handle that
Yeah.
with a note or a warning or whatever.
Yeah.
The bad part about
I
that
guess
is
you
you
could
might
add-
get one broke one day and another one do it the next day, so, but
Yeah.
I think it'll work out. We'll keep working on it, so.
One other thing I'd like to address you about is the landscaping around the square.
We
If
all-
you've noticed, mine and Earlene's flower bed in the front there has been empty probably for what, year and a half, 2 years now?
Yeah.
Last year.
Yeah, about a
It
year.
was like a grass crop when I was
Yeah.
a year ago.
Yeah.
It
You know,
looked
I
like
had-
grass, pointed grass.
We have a ton of what we call lake people.
Yeah.
come in the store.
Yeah.
A lot of old people. I've had one guy say, man, the city must really hate you. He said, "Yeah, but you're right."
You know, we've kind of been in a process, we've taken some trees down.
You didn't
And
see
we've
it.
got some more to take down, and we've got a gentleman that's hopefully going to get back to work on that soon. And he's going to be, and we've also contracted with him to maintain those things so that it'll stay like we want it to stay, so.
Hopefully it does. You know, I
Yeah.
know when they put them in years ago, the women's auxiliary was gonna take care of it. They put it in, they took care of it for a few months.
Yeah. Well, this guy I think will take care of it because we're paying him now, so, you know, that's always a key.
With Pineview Nursery, plants in across the water on the
Yeah.
on our side.
Yeah.
So that we could have something pretty. And
Sure.
Yeah.
I know who all took the pots, but we did, and
Yeah.
I'm willing to do that if I
Yeah.
can have some.
Yeah, well, I think it, like I say, the gentleman that's doing that now, he's a good guy. He's very responsible.
Yeah.
Once he gets things in place there, and he's gonna maintain them, and, I think it'll be a lot better. A lot of times, the city work, we depend on our public works people to water flowers and do things like that, and something comes up, they just don't have time, don't get to it, so,
It's just like the dishes. I mean, you can only do so much.
Yeah.
I mean, one man can only do, he may be able to do it the whole job. but
Yeah.
He can't do it in an hour time.
right. So we're working on improving that too, and you should see some improvement in that, pretty soon,
And
so.
I mean, I appreciate, I know they appreciate, we
Yeah.
appreciate our concern.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And just to be listening.
Yeah, well, we want to, like I say, we want to do our part. That's, just like you guys have a part to play in your businesses and supporting, we have a part to play in supporting you guys. So it's important to us. It don't always seem that way, but it is, Things move slow sometimes, and that's frustrating, so, but,
You can't make everybody happy.
No.
You're always gonna have somebody that's not happy, no matter what you do.
but we want to try. We want to try, so. Okay, unfinished business. Wes, you got anything? Ian? Okay. All right, we'll move to new business. Billy, you got any new business?
Just thank the ones that come to the firehouse yesterday for them giving away the crusade money.
Yeah.
And the guys really enjoy seeing you all come out there, so.
And it was a good event. I
Right
think
by
ended up
in time.
countywide having around 101,000 and some change to
Yeah.
donate to Crusade, which is a good number. And we appreciate the community for donating like that. It all comes back to us eventually when.
Yeah, even more.
Yeah. Yeah. Terry?
I just want to thank Miss Willie for another fabulous meal, and I know Keith was manning the grill.
Yeah.
But it's always welcoming at the fire department, and I'm just super proud to support them in any effort that we can.
Yeah.
We're lucky to have the firemen that we do.
I agree.
Fire people, we have more than men on there.
Yeah. Tootie?
I don't have any new business.
Clay?
No, I was going to thank the fire department, thank everybody that participates. They were out in the rain collecting money, and right in the middle of all of it, several emergency runs, and people didn't seem to understand why that maybe they wasn't on the blockade. And when you got wrecks, as Billy can contest to, that and medical emergencies, and these guys were out for 48 hours. And they do such a wonderful job, and I just wanted to thank all of them and appreciate it.
Gina?
The same. I mean, Miss Willie gets into her cooking, and she certainly knows how to put a spread on.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
appreciate that, and the firemen and the surrounding departments that
Right.
came.
Yes.
And that was interesting and good to see.
Yeah.
People working together and discussing things.
Yeah. Okay. Denny?
I have nothing new other than echoing what everybody else said about the
Lord?
department.
Earlene?
No.
Wes? Dean? Okay. All right.
Yeah, Ian's got some stuff.
Okay. Come see me tomorrow in the morning, Ian. Other business, Reminder, there will be a police department committee meeting on June 17th at 5 PM before our next council meeting.
Will Ian be there for that, Mayor?
Not if you don't have to. He'll probably send the chief for that one. And the next chamber luncheon is Thursday, June 13th at noon. Please let Lori know no later than noon on Monday, June 10th, if you plan to attend. This one will be held at the Purple Flash Center in Caneyville, so make note of that if you plan on going, so.
For the ones of you all wondering, because I think I've seen Sabrina's eyes go, I changed that from beautification that was originally sent out on the original agenda back to the police department since we canceled theirs this afternoon since Chief was going to be out, so we just kind of backtracked, so.
Push everything back. Okay. Okay, if there are nothing, no other.
What'd you do to get in trouble, Ian?
The chief's a little under the weather today, I think, so.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Okay, motion by Clayton, a second.
Second.
Second by Tootie. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.